Well, moving on, a British fashion giant TopShop opened its stores in Sydney today, another in a line of foreign retailers tempting Aussie shoppers. How is it that overseas operators are enjoying success in Australia while our local businesses struggle big time?
Boasting 4 floors of fashion, TopShop's flagship Sydney store is the most prominent example of international clothing retailers moving aggressively into the Australian market. The list includes Zara, Forever 21, and online giant ASOS, with Uniqlo, River Island and H&M on the horizon.
It's exciting, you get to be ahead of fashion.
It's new and it's from other countries.
If you're buying at TopShop, then you're buying like 6 months ahead of the fashion.
After years of considering Australia too distant and too small a market, why are foreign sellers suddenly falling over themselves to set up shop here? Well, with Europe and the US in downturn, we're one of the few developed nations with a positive economic landscape. But if Australian shoppers have money to burn, then why are our own retailers struggling so badly?
Australians have been a bit slower to adapt to the online market, but what we're now seeing is retailers getting into that space to become competitive to the rest of the market.
The same conditions that made foreign fashion unviable here for so long also created a cosy closed market for local retailers, whose complacency has come back to bite them. Meanwhile, the competitive European market fostered the kind of innovation and efficiency that lets TopShop and Zara add new stock weekly, and to get trends fresh off the catwalk into stores quickly and affordably.
We do have lines that come straight from the catwalk. We show first at London Fashion Week.
It's clearly good for customers, but what about local stores? Is the foreign retail invasion a much-needed kick in the pants or a much more serious knockout blow?
Strategy consultant Nerida Jenkins from RetailOasis says this should be good for local operators. Nerida, do you think successful foreign stores really inspire local retailers to lift their game, or are we simply going to be crushed like little bugs?
Oh, good question, Carrie. The entry of the international retailers into our flagship shopping centres have acted as stimulus for Australian retailers, which is great news. But the call from consumers for international brands and the latest fashion has been a long time coming. Last year, Australians spent over $1 billion on fashion. 70% of that went offshore. That's consumers looking for brand equity, latest fashion and access to those most coveted brands.
I was going to say, are these stores really offering better products at better price, or is it just the coolness factor, you know, although I'm sure that young kids wouldn't use the word coolness, but, you know, is it the hype of it, do you think?
Yeah, it's a mix of both. They do carry that international brand cachet. Everyone's travelling, everyone has access to global information, and those brands are highly desired, particularly by Gen Y and Gen Z. What they do deliver is fashion-forward trend at prices that are acceptable.
Just on the price, Nerida, these European companies obviously have a bit of a geographical advantage by being closer to those latest catwalk fashion trends, which guys like Charlie and Hughes are obviously very in tune with. How do they keep it cheap? How do they make it so cheap? Are they using factories they shouldn't in certain parts of the world they shouldn't?
Everybody utilises sourcing out of Asia, primarily China. So it's less about that, and it's much more about the scale that these major international brands have and are able to bring to bear.
Nerida, is it possible for local fashion retailers to compete on price?
It is not about price alone, it is about the offer that you give to the consumer. Understand the consumer's needs and expectations and deliver on it.
All right, Nerida, it's been great to chat to you tonight. Thanks so much for your time.
Nice to meet you all. Take care.